One of the things most people don't really talk about in cybersecurity is how stressful this job can be. It's stressful because you're having to learn all the technical aspects and keep on top of that. But also in cybersecurity, normally we have to talk to other people. And people are stressed out because money, lots and lots of money is involved. And sometimes it's a situation where you have a security incident, you have systems getting hacked, and there's a heightened level of stress involved with cybersecurity, and it's just not talked about a lot in this position. It does pay well. There is job security. It is a growing field. All that stuff is definitely the pros of this job, but they don't talk about how stressful it can be. So what I want to do is talk to you about what I do, my whole approach to managing the stress level of this particular position. And I'm not sitting here telling you that I don't get stressed out or that I don't lose it sometimes, because I do. But my approach is such that I can take on a larger workload because I'm prepared for what the day holds for me. The very first thing that I do is I take notes. Notes. Before I even do anything in the morning, the first thing I do is take notes on all of the tasks that I'm going to do throughout the day. I have kind of a goal sheet of everything I'm going to do for work, for home life, gym. I put that on there. Everything is put in my notes. And I kind of trying to update my notes to actually do it digitally so I can kind of keep better track of it. But usually I use, and what this is right here is a Surface, Microsoft Surface, which I like. I'm kind of testing it out. It's kind of new to me. Writing notes down on paper is the best way for me personally. You've got to find your own method to your madness. Like, it might not be actually taking paper notes. It might be digital notes. It might be something you type in. But the thing is, you just want to sit down and map out your day of all the most important things. And sometimes it's important to actually start going through your emails, start going through your calendar and putting down and writing down all the things that you have to do. Now, it's not enough to just write down all the tasks that you have to do throughout the day, like I've done here. Another thing that you need to do is prioritize those notes. What I mean to say is, what is the most important and time-critical task that you have to do in the day? And how much time will each one of those things take? After I have prioritized all my notes, the next thing that I do is put on there how much time each one of those tasks are going to take me. And I usually put like a cue if it's under 10 minutes, like something it's low-hanging fruit. I can just knock it out and be done with it for the day. And the reason I start doing that is knocking out all of the low-hanging fruit type stuff is that I noticed that when I immediately attack the most important thing, and it's going to take me 4 hours to do. It took basically the entire day for me to do that one task. I've looked through my list and I can see all these things that would have only taken me 5 minutes to do that were not as important. But if I would have knocked those things out, I would have been able to cross so many other tasks off. Collectively, they're probably as important as this one huge 4 or 5 hour task that I just did. So that's why I normally knock out all the cues first. Another thing that I notice is that there's some tasks that are automatic, meaning I don't have to be there the whole time. Like a download. If I know that a download or an upload is going to take me an hour to do, but all I do is set it and forget it. I just set it up and it's downloading or it's uploading, and then that's it. I walk away, go do something else. I put an A by those things. And the reason why I do that is because those items are things that are going to not take me as long as I just started and then I just walk away. I put an A there so that it's kind of like the Q's. I knock out the Q's, I knock out the A's, and then I start going down the list of all my other items. Now, another thing I'll do is once I'm prioritizing, I'm putting the times down for each thing. Like if this task is 4 hours, and I'm trying to be as realistic as possible such that I'll even add some time to it. If this item is an hour, maybe I'll add an extra 30 minutes. If this time is 30 minutes, maybe I'll add another 30 minutes, make it a full hour. But another thing is, if it's 20 minutes, I put 20 minutes there. Like if it's a 20-minute task or a 15-minute task or a 40-minute task, I put all the times there so that I have some idea of what exactly is going to take me the longest time versus, and that gives me an ability to prioritize even further. Like if I have this higher priority item, but this other thing takes me 20 minutes to do, and it's a medium priority, I might actually go to that, knock that out, and then go to my 4-hour task. So you have to be able to manage your time effectively. The very first thing that you do before you start your day is start to write down the task that you want to do. Another super important thing, equally important, probably even more important, is your calendar. Put everything on your calendar, especially if you have a lot of tasks throughout the day. It's so important to put everything on your calendar, starting from the very beginning to the end of your day. And I'm not just talking about your important meetings where you're going to be doing Zoom calls or whatever. I'm talking about if you need to study that day, put that down on the list. If you know that you have something to study for that day, put that down. Put 30 minutes down for your study. Calendar. So we talked about making the list. We talked about prioritizing that list, but we also talked about calendars. Another thing is that you want to break up your time. What I mean is you don't want to stress yourself out and focus all of your energy on just working. I know how. Now, one of the things that I do is I focus so heavily on my work that once I get a task going, it's hard for me to pull myself away from that. But you have to, for a work-life balance, you got to break yourself away. You got to take breaks. You got to eat. You got to drink water. You got to work out. You got to break up your day. Go spend time with your wife, your kids, whatever. Break that time up so that you are not stressed out by the end of the day, like you're not burned completely out. If you break up the time, even if you're in an office, break up the time. Just get up, stretch, take a breather, go take a walk, and then come back. Sometimes when you come back with a fresh mind, it actually helps to make your work even more successful, and you have more ideas, you have more energy to do more work and be more efficient when you walk away and come back. And you can walk away for like 10-15 minutes and then come back and then be refreshed to start that work anew. So those are the things that I do to manage the stress of doing cybersecurity, to manage my whole approach. Go in this knowing that there's potential, that you know that it's going to be stressful. That's another thing that I do. My whole mindset is knowing that I have to deal with sometimes difficult customers, and then how am I going to navigate through the difficult questions that they have? How am I going to deal with somebody having a heightened being upset about something? How I go in ready for war. Not that I'm going to attack this person, but I'm going in with the mindset of I'm ready to adjust to whatever comes my way. So those are the main ways that I actually have been able to be in this career field so long and not be phased, and just continue to level up and take on more responsibilities. I got a couple of friends of mine who are IT professionals, been doing IT for a long time. They had one taste of security and they never wanted to do it again. A really good friend of mine. And I know why. It's because IT is pure. If you're just doing technology and you're just fixing things, you're fixing routers, you're fixing servers or whatever, or firewalls, and that's all you do. They lock you in a closet, you fix stuff, and that's it. It's way less stressful than dealing with managers or C-level execs, or doing presentations, or talking about technical stuff to people who don't understand technical stuff at all, or talking about management stuff and policies to technical people who don't want to talk to you about none of that stuff. Dealing with those different kinds of people it can be difficult, and so that's why you got to prepare yourself with all the tools that I talked to you about in this video. All right, see you in the next one.